Hi, this is a demo of the ProtoBoost Idea Validation System. It's an AI-driven system that helps you take a rough idea and develop a detailed business plan for it. So you start by signing in and simply click on Start Validating. It asks you to tell us your idea. I'm going to use the idea of a mobile charging service for EV drivers who commute a long distance to their office and have few charging facilities at the office. So we save and submit that idea, and then it asks for a how might we question. The how might we question is something that we use later in this process to generate alternative solutions to the same problem. So the how might we question here is, how might we reduce range anxiety for EV drivers who commute long distances to work and have few charging facilities at the office? So now it's computing the market segmentation. These are the possible markets that we could approach with our new business idea. So we could go after corporate fleets, private EV users, building management companies, local governments, or app developers and tech partners. And for each of these, it lists who would be the end user, how would they use it, what benefits would they see, what needs would it satisfy, some examples, how willing would they be to adopt this, how frequently would they purchase it, and a whole lot of other things that are useful for deciding which market we want to go after. So taking a look at this, I think I want to stay with private EV users, people who, and so I'm just going to copy and paste it. I would like to select a market segment. Okay, and now it's going to ask us about our beachhead market. The beachhead market is that narrowly defined market that would really want your product and provide you reference customers, enthusiastic endorsements of your product so you can expand out to other market segments. So here, commuting professionals in urban areas, suburban commuters, fleet vehicle, rideshare drivers, long distance. I'm going to go with commuting professionals in urban areas. They're often more upscale. They may have more disposable income. And if you go down here, you can see that it's looking at ability to purchase, how accessible the customer would be, how likely they would be to purchase. Could you offer a complete solution? How competitive is this market, etc.? And it rates the markets from very high to low. And so I agree that commuting professionals in urban areas are the right market. And so I'm going to enter that here. And so that's our beachhead market. Now, what is an average end user like? And so it's going to generate an end user profile. It says here they're commuting professionals. Yes, the first sentence is really just a recap of what we told it, but then they're typically tech savvy and environmentally conscious. They value sustainability and convenience. Good. They often experience range anxiety, and they, by using this charging service, will ensure that their vehicle has enough battery life. And so it gives us some demographics, psychographics, the other products that they buy or use, because these could be complementary products or ways of locating them. And then where to find them, the kind of watering holes, the urban workspaces, owners forums, coffee shops with charging stations. That would be a good place to advertise the service. And what is their day like? Now, sometimes the buyer, the economic buyer, is different than the end user. So for example, it could be that we want to sell this to facilities managers in tech office parks, that they would buy this mobile charging service and provide it to the employees in the companies that occupy that tech office park. And so looking at the economic buyer profile is also important. So I'm just going to use this. Again, we could type in something different. It would use that, and it would propagate that through the rest of the analyses. Okay, we're halfway done, and now it's going to estimate how big a market we're looking at. When you're choosing your beachhead market, you want to choose something that's big, but not too big. You don't want to try to attack too much with a new startup idea. And so here we're looking at the top-down estimate. How many EV drivers are there? Well, they went out to the US Department of Energy and to various market reports, and they estimate that there's 2 million EV drivers. of which 600,000 are commuting professionals, and of those, only 120,000 have limited options at the workplace. Now, each of those could generate $1,800 if we charge $150 a month, which seems a little low, but that would result in a $200 million market. So that's not bad. It estimates our profitability, the profit margin, and the growth rate. And so it gives us an estimate of what this market size is. This seems like a pretty reasonable market to go after. It also looks at a bottom-up analysis. Looks at how many commuting professionals are there. So it kind of starts from the other direction. And how many would be located in urban centers and so forth. This is a tougher analysis to do well, but it ends up in about the same place. And so generally, it gives us a couple other factors to consider, like the profitability and so forth, and some analysis questions, but ends up with about a $200 million market. Not bad. And again, we could say, no, I want to regenerate, give it feedback, and it would adjust it as necessary. Then, and this is a nice step, it goes out and it simulates interviews with customers. And it chooses customers at different ends of the spectrum. So it would choose somebody who would be skeptical about a mobile charging service. And then it chooses somebody who might be expert or enthusiastic about it. So here's an operations manager at a logistics company that uses EVs. And they are concerned about keeping a charge, and they've had some bad experiences, but they are concerned about reliability. You can see it here. I'm skeptical about reliability. There's many apps that advertise services, but if they don't show up, it's more of a hassle than a benefit, and pricing can be a real issue. And so he has some recommendations, but he's validating that it really is a problem. Now, there's another person, Emily, that we interview, a fake interview, who's director of sustainability. This would be somebody who's really in favor of solutions like this. They want to make it possible to drive your EV to work. And so they ask a similar set of questions. And then at the bottom, they summarize these interviews, and they say that range anxiety is a significant hurdle. The current infrastructure often fails to meet the needs, but you really got to be convincing about your reliability, and availability tracking would be a nice feature, as well as very transparent pricing. And so those are some things to consider as we're designing our final solution. The next step is to design the final solution, and the system generates 9 ideas in each of 5 categories that you can mix and match to create a total solution. Now, after taking a look at the idea and the goal of the idea, remember the how might we question was, how might we reduce range anxiety for EV drivers who commute long distances to work and have few charging facilities at the office? Then it comes up with 45 ideas, 9 ideas in each of 5 categories that you might want to consider as you're offering that service. The first idea is almost always the idea that you entered, a mobile on-demand EV charging service with a subscription-based charging package. But then it lists some other possibilities, EV battery health monitoring, that you might be able to get some additional revenue from, or would just be a nice additional feature. You could also sell complementary products and services like maintenance and repair referrals, and parking spot reservations, insurance partnerships, and some AI-powered innovations, some different revenue models. That's always useful to consider, that maybe a subscription-based charging plan is the right plan, but maybe there's other ways you could make money. And then lastly, how do you engage with your customers? Are there innovative ways to find those customers and select them? And so based on the priorities that were identified in the earlier step, it recommends 5 top ideas that you should consider. But at the bottom here, what you do is you type in your idea. You take a look at all of the above ideas and things that you've considered, and based on that, how would you describe this idea? This is your summary of the different parts of the idea. So I'm going to summarize the idea as exec charge. Eliminate range anxiety forever. It's a mobile charging service for EV drivers who drive a long distance to work and have few charging stations at the office. The service also offers emergency service for stranded drivers and simple maintenance services such as tire changing. So we're going to save that and proceed to image generation. With image generation, what the system does is it helps you generate the prompts that you'll need to generate an appropriate image for your service. So let's take a look at this prompt. It says, create an image portraying a mobile charging service catering to EV drivers with long commutes. Show a mobile charging unit parked next to an EV with a uniformed service technician charging the vehicle. That looks pretty good. So let's generate an image. And we can look at this image, and it's not bad. We've got the uniformed technician, we've got the EV, we've got the truck. This, to be blunt, is the most frustrating part of this process. AI is only okay at generating images. I'm sure this will get better, but for now, it can be really tricky. My advice to people is always to try, if you can't get a good image of the product or service in use, then try to generate an image of the as-is situation. So for example, you create an image of a mobile charging van providing emergency service for a stranded electric vehicle driver on a busy road late at night. That's not bad. We might want to use that one instead. So I'm going to select that one and use that as my hero image for the next phase of this. In the next phase, it summarizes everything. So it creates a summary, and in that summary is everything that we have entered and produced. So here's the end user profile, here's the takeaways from our customer interviews, here's the key features of the product, here's the top 5 ideas that identified, here's the market segmentation, here's the beachhead market, here's the end user profile, here's the economic buyer profile, the total addressable market estimation, and everything. And we can click a button here and download that in a PDF. We can also create a one-page slide that we can use to present this idea to other people. So here is exec charge, eliminate range anxiety forever, a quick description, the key features, who's the target audience, what's the benefit, and who's the author. And the hero image is there to illustrate it. And we can click and download that slide, and we are done.